Hey everyone, this is Heidi from My Reading Life, and it is week 3 of NonFiction November. So I figured I'd start my vlog by telling you what I am currently reading. So I am still reading Stolen Harvest by Vandana Shiva, which is the book about genetically modified organisms in industrial agriculture. Super interesting and informative. I'm buddy reading that with Joe Smith, and we should be finishing that up within the next couple of days. So I will be back to talk about that in more depth later this week. I am also starting my buddy read of The Ghost Orchard by Helen Humphries with Sean the Book Maniac, and this is all about the history of the apple in North America. I have started this one, read the first chapter or so, and it is just fantastic so far. I think the first fact that I found out was that apples are not native to North America. Who knew? Not me, that's for sure. So I was fascinated by that. And then I am continuing through the Essential Feminist Reader. I am keeping up with my self-proposed reading schedule of 2 chapters a day. So today is the 15th of November, and I am through 30 of the pieces, which are excerpts of feminist writings from like 1400 through the present day. So very good. I have started How to Be an Antiracist by Ibram X. Kendi. I think I've read the first 2 chapters in this so far, and this is one of those books where, you don't want to read it too quickly because there's so much here to digest, but it feels like I'm in a really excellent college level seminar class reading this book. Like, there is so much to unpack and think about, and it is quite intellectual, I would say. So you really have to slow down and sort of take in the information that he's presenting. But I am really liking it so far. So hopefully we'll continue to enjoy that. So that's what I'm reading for nonfiction. I am also throwing in there a little romance just to for relaxation and a little palate cleanser in between sections of my different nonfiction books. This is The Viscount Who Loved Me by Julia Quinn. This is book 2 in the Bridgerton series. As you know, I am buddy reading these with my romance buddy readers, Kate and Doris, and we're trying to reread the entire Bridgerton series before the TV adaptation comes out on Netflix on Christmas Day. So enjoying that. I am also going to be starting tomorrow this collection of essays, Braiding Sweetgrass, Indigenous Wisdom, Scientific Knowledge, and the Teachings of Plants by Robin Wall Kimmerer. And this also doubles as my Indigathon read. So this is a science and nature writing from an Indigenous perspective. I am here for it. I love, love, love this copy of the book. So beautiful. So yeah, lots of great nonfiction on the go right now, and I am looking forward to what the week has in store. Hey guys, it's Wednesday. I thought I'd pull a Doris and film from the kitchen cupboard while I make my tea this morning. It's been a couple of days. This week's been, I don't know. It's just, I haven't been sleeping. It's like 2 nights of not sleeping. Over 24 hours of a headache that won't quit. And it's just, yeah, it's just one of those days. But I thought I would want to tell you about this book, Operating Instructions, A Journal of My Son's First Year by Lamont. This is a journal that she kept during the first year of her son's life. And I believe her son was born in like 1989. So it's a little bit, I wouldn't call it dated, but you can definitely tell it was written in a different time from where we are now. I am loving this. I have laughed out loud multiple times, but I will tell you, she is very irreverent. She is not like, she is in love with her baby, but she is also aware that she is like nuts with lack of sleep, and her baby has colic, and she's trying to nurse and like all these things. I'm sorry if you can hear that. That is my kitten who is down here. Hold on a second. You want to see everybody? This baby kitty was crying because I was not paying attention to her. Yeah, you see the camera? Anyway, so there's a lot of swearing in this book, and there is a lot of her kind of flopping back and forth between like absolutely being in love with her baby and like wanting to check him out the window. I mean, like, honestly, she wants to check him out the window. She's a single parent. She's a first-time mom in her late 30s. She is a recovering drug addict and alcoholic. And so there's all of these issues that she's dealing with. And I think she deals with them in a very realistic and humorous way. And I could very much relate. I mean, I didn't have nearly half of the stuff to deal with as she did when I was a new mom, but I can remember that feeling of like being overwhelmed and exhausted, and like being so exhausted that you literally just can't, your brain just won't function. So yeah, I think this is great, and it's a really quick read. I'm already on page 108 of this 250 page book. So if you're looking for a quick, funny but poignant read, if you like diary style narratives, I guess this would be epistolary, right? Because it's like every day. It's written in these short vignettes, and it says the date at the top, and she gives a little brief thing about what happened that day with her son or whatever she's doing. I just thought it was really, it's realistic about her weight, like her post-pregnancy body and how she relates to that and all of that stuff. It's just really great. But be forewarned, she's not all like sunshine and roses about the experience of being a new mom. So very good. Hey everyone, it's Thursday. I thought I'd check in by talking about The Essential Feminist Reader, which I've been reading all month. And I've been trying to read at least 2 sections every day so that I can finish it in the month. And I really want to talk about Virginia Woolf, which you can't see that it's washed out. But so there was a section here, chapter 33 is an excerpt from Virginia Woolf's essay called Three Guineas, which she wrote in 1938. And I, a few years ago, read A Room of One's Own and didn't get on with it. I've never read any of Virginia Woolf's fiction. I know she's much beloved, and this is going to be a controversial opinion, but I just watched a video not very long ago from Gunfiction, Powder, and Plot, and that video gave me the confidence to express my views of Virginia Woolf's writing. I don't know what about for fiction writing. I haven't read it. But I will say that her nonfiction writing irritates me to no end, because I feel like she's very elitist, and I feel like she's very sure that she's got all the right answers, and she talks down to her readers. And I find that really quite aggravating. And she can be saying absolutely brilliant things, but if I think she thinks I'm an idiot, I'm not going to get along with her writing very well. I felt that way about A Room of One's Own. I've also feel the same way about Three Guineas. It was ostensibly her responding to 3 letters she had received requesting donations to various different causes that she might support. Like one was being against wars, and one was schooling for women, I believe. I can't remember what they all were, but the tone of her writing is so aggravating. And now there's all different kinds of feminist writers in here. No, kitty. kitty getting on the table, not allowed. There's all different kinds of feminist writers in here, which some I've really liked, some were a little bit, over my head, or obscure or whatever, and I didn't really get the point they were trying to make. But overall, I've really enjoyed it. It's been, writers from all over the world, so you're getting various different perspectives, not just American and English perspectives. There's Chinese writers, there's South American writers, African writers, different other places in Europe. So I love the global perspective in here. And I just was reading this Virginia Woolf's essay like in bed the other night, and I was just getting more and more angry and like, oh, why do you have to have this tone? So anyway, my little rant today about Virginia Woolf and why I don't like her writing. So I'm sure that's going to be a very unpopular opinion, but I can't help it. That's how I feel. Anyway, overall, really enjoying this book. Over halfway through, which is good because it's it's November 19th. And so I feel like I'm on track to complete this by the end of the month. Hey there, it's Saturday. Yay, it's the weekend. And I just wanted to report in that I finished operating instructions last night. And it continued to be just a delightful read. If you are up for journal entry style book that is irreverent and profane and funny and poignant and sad about first year motherhood, I would definitely say pick this up. I really, really enjoyed it. I will say that, Anne Lamont is much more religious than I thought. I didn't know anything about her, to be honest, before I read this book. But she did not write about religion in a way that I found off-putting at all as a person who is not particularly religious herself. I just thought that she wove in her commentary about faith and how that helped her out of really tough times very well. Also, this book touches upon her recovery from addiction to drugs and alcohol. So if that's something that bothers you, just be aware of that's in there. It doesn't go into any really horrible details, but it is touched upon. But I just thought it's such a realistic look at the first year of motherhood and the ups and downs and the topsy-turviness of it and how you fluctuate back and forth from emotional extremes from one minute to the next. So highly recommend that. And it was, like an easier read than some of the other things that I've been reading. Speaking of which, my goal for today is, and this is a naked hardback, of How to Be an Anti-Racist, Ibram X. Kendi. My goal is to finish this today. I have about 110 pages left to go. And this is really great as well. I mean, all the hype and praise is for real and is well-deserved. And I'm loving the way that he's mixing in personal anecdotes with his thoughts about racism and anti-racism and all of that. It's like being in a really excellent college level seminar about racism. So yeah, that's my goal for today, and I will check in later. Just want to wrap up the week 3 vlog by saying that I did end up finishing How to Be Anti-Racist by Ibram X. Kendi. This was really an excellent book. I feel like I learned a lot from this book. It has a really nice cover page too. So this is kind of a short nonfiction. It's only about 250 pages long, and basically Ibram X. Kendi takes us through a narrative of his life from childhood all the way up through present day. And while he tells us his personal story, he is weaving in these ideas about anti-racism and the difference between being racist and saying that you're not racist and truly being anti-racist. And it was really eye-opening to get his ideas about this. and to read these definitions and to have him continually reiterating the definitions for these topics. And it really helped me to firmly place them in my mind. And so he goes through, I think there's 18 chapters or something in this book. And so each chapter sort of builds on the one previous to it and builds on these concepts of anti-racism versus racism, and all the different ways in which racism rears its ugly head. And I think it's really well done. It can feel a little bit repetitive, I will say, when he's going over terminology and sort of walking you through step by step how these ideas play out in society. But I think that it's actually really useful to have it laid out in this way, because these are ideas that we need to, because racism is sort of built into our society, and we have been raised this way, all of us that live in America and even other places in the world, you're going to have to retrain your mind to think about some of these things. And I think that the way that he does this here is a really good way to start retraining your mind. I really liked his personal stories interspersed with these concepts. I thought it was really strongly done. And then, of course, at the end, I don't want to spoil it. I know it's nonfiction, and so it's probably unable to be spoiled, but the last chapter is really hard-hitting. The last 2 or 3 chapters are really personally hard-hitting. And I thought that the way that he wrapped it up made for a very nice package. So, like I've said before in this vlog, reading this book was like participating in a college-level course on anti-racism. And so I feel like it was a book that I couldn't just sit down and like blow through, right? I had to sit down with my pencil, with my sticky notes, and sort of think through the concepts that he's laying out in this book. But it's very much worth the effort. And I feel like I really came away from this having learned a lot and having concrete things to put into action myself in order to be more anti-racist myself, which is a process that we're all, those of us that want to be anti-racist, it's not a process where you're ever like totally there, right? You're never gonna like be anti-racist. It's a process that you're constantly working towards, and you're constantly having to check yourself and, scan what you're doing and make sure that you're not participating in racist ideas, actions, whatever. So that I think is really worthwhile for anyone to do. And so this book should be required reading for everyone. I think it's a guidebook basically for how to be anti-racist. So in that way, it's invaluable. So another successful week. I only finished 2 books in the whole week, but I have made good progress in some other books. So I'm hopeful that next week I'll finish those ones up, and I will talk to you about those in next week's vlog. Hope everybody's had a good reading week, and I will talk to you later.